Prost and welcome to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, the Let's Try program here on the mighty Loading Ready Run Video Entertainment Network. My name is Ian Horner. I am your host for this evening, as with most evenings, and tonight we are once again broadcasting from the kitchen here in the palatial Tilty House Studios here in downtown beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Friends, tonight we are gonna be trying something a bit different. I was trying to think of what I could come back from Desert Bus with for a Tinker Tailor. And I thought, I could either try repairing a television, which was not going to be in the works because still need to get parts for that and make sure that the parts I need are the parts I want. But that said, I figured why not make some dessert? I'm always hungry. I mean, not always hungry, but I do enjoy a good dessert every now and then. And I've never taken the time to learn how to make what is possibly my favorite dessert, the Indian Gulab Jamun, which, for those unaware, is it's a little pastry-ish thing. Maybe there was some descriptions earlier in the chat there, but the best way I've found to describe them is, the most culturally insensitive manner possible is they're like a Timbit, a donut hole for those non-Canadians, but that's been soaked in rose water and honey. And wow, do I really enjoy them. So we're going to be making those today. Before we do anything else, why don't we, well, I'm going to open up some wine here, and let's go through today's recipe, shall we? Let me just pull that up. Hey friends, welcome to this scene where I am talking through devices that you'll soon be able to hear in your ears. As I was mentioning, tonight's wine, Bellevue Vineyard 2017 Merlot. It's quickly become probably my favorite wine, so we're just going to leave that there to sit for a bit. That's the sauce. For the jamuns themselves, the gulabs of jamun, Jamuntown. 14 ounces of semolina flour, dried milk powder. You know what? 1 teaspoon baking powder, half teaspoon green cardamom, 1/8 teaspoon kosher salt, 6 tablespoons heavy cream, 3 cups of grapeseed or your favorite frying oil or ghee, should you have it. I don't. We'll be using canola oil because I'm a prairie boy. And of course, some chopped pistachios or cashews, should we want to have them on there. Now, what we're going to, it talks about doing the syrup first, but there's one little piece of information here that I want to highlight. We want to, in a small bowl, whisk together the semolina and milk and set aside for 30 minutes to allow the semolina to soak. So, I think we're gonna do that bit first. Let me put away things. I'm not gonna follow along, by the way, with the recipe as we go along here. Go back to the, oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so let's get our semolina. Love me that particular wine. Let's head on over to the cooking corner, shall we? Is this the one? I think it's this one. Half. Perfect. Love that one. And the direction is... Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's going on here? Are you not doing the thing I want you to do, iOS camera? Refresh device, reconnect device. Ooh. Ah, there it is. Okay, now I just need to convince it that it is, in fact, landscape. I forgot I needed to take a tweet before the show, and then I had to use my phone to do that. The phone makes such a good webcam for this sort of thing, doesn't it? All right, let's get out our scale, because it's important to do things properly. And properly means... You know what? I think I'm going to flip that. I don't know why it's not flipped. It should have been flipped. I flipped it earlier. Flip off. Transform. And flip vertically. There we go. So now you can see that bowl weighs 477. Let's zero that out and let's bring out my big bag of semolina flour, because I used to use this for my pizza dough, and I don't anymore, so now I've got a lot of semolina that I'm going to need to turn into Gulab Jamuns. And we need, need to enter a password on my computer that has the recipe. Hey, friends, if you're using a Macintosh or an iOS device and you want to use the recipe management software that Ian uses, check out Paprika. It's currently on for 50% off. Other recipe management software suites are available, but it is my particular one of choice. I really like it, and they are not giving me or Loading Ready Run any form of a kickback for this. This is just my own personal likings. Okay, we're going for 40 grams. Boom. Ha ha! Love it when it gets right on point like that. Okay, we'll put the flour back up with the flowers on top. And now what we need is the milk. So let's zero that out again. And our milk is gonna be, not for the syrup, 60 mils, a quarter cup. So we should probably go with volume for that because milk contains proteins. It's heavier than water. Or it's lighter than water because of the buoyancy. I don't always know. But let's get our milk out, and again, they wanted a quarter of a cup, or 60 mils. Well, let's get this up here. I mean, what I should do is I should go down and properly measure against the line. Hey, that looks to be quarter of a cup. Ooh, that's just about a third of a cup. That's too much. Bottom line is quarter. Splash. Perfect. Okay, and do we want to mix those together? Stir them together. Okay, so we'll just use a really regular old spoon for this portion of the cook. All right, that's making a nice looking paste there. That's sufficiently combined. We'll put this up here. All right, let's rinse out that. Next up, let's start on the syrup. Is the project box up there? Let's give that a different camera. Project box needs to have Brio turned off so you can see me when I'm here. There we go. Now we have multiple locations. Okay, Syrup. Combine a bunch of things. Whew, in a medium saucepan. Well, let's just get that saucepan out. I think we want to use that friend. So I'll stick that on the hob. And water, sugar, lemon juice, saffron. All right. You know what? Let me just post in the chat there for you all the recipe. Because otherwise, how will you know? How could you possibly know? Beep, boop, in the chat. All right. Okay, I should actually have my recipe come with me to the other side here so I don't have to keep coming back and forth. All right, water, 2 cups, 480 milliliters. On the thing, let's get some water. Bob the Ninja Goldfish, you're asking why I no longer use semolina in my pizza dough. Yeah, I've moved on to a different recipe, which is outlined in the book, The Elements of Pizza. And the dough, or not the dough, the flour I use for pizza is now currently out of stock in my apartment, which means I need to order some. Thankfully available on Amazon. It's just Tipo 00 flour. Just the good pizza stuff. How much are we doing here? 480 mils. So it'll be 480 grams. Oh, and let's start that half-hour timer, shall we? Half an hour on the clock for the semolina soak. Bring this up to 480 grams. Ooh, 76. I mean, being this accurate is probably just a bit over the top, but hey. Yeah, Elements of Pizza. Fantastic book. I highly recommend it. Okay, next up we need 400 grams of sugar. God, I hope this is enough sugar. I don't use sugar in basically anything these days. So, I think I bought this bag, God, over a couple years ago. Oh, and let's not forget the 0R scale, because otherwise, this is difficult. Simple syrup, clap, 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 clap. A simple syrup, by the way, for those who are not aware, is a syrup of 1-to-1 ratio sugar and water. Useful for all sorts of things, not least of which bartending. All right. Okay, next up, right, I'm using this to... The nice thing I like about paprika is that you can click off the... Please. Log me in. Good. You know what? Give me half a second here. I'm going to turn off my security and old screen locks. Security and privacy. Require a password? No. But if turn off screen lock, there we go. Keep using keychain. Good God. You want a lot of stuff from me, don't you, computer? Okay, so we got the cups of water, we got the sugar, we need 1 tablespoon of lemon juice. For that, I mean, we could use the stuff that I've got in the fridge that has horribly expired, I'm sure, at some point, and I actually apparently am now out of. Or we could think ahead and use a lemon. let's give that a slice. I'm sure this will be useful at some point. Whoop. Let's move the salt away there. Give it a pre-squeeze. Ooh, yeah, just point that nasty side right towards camera, eh? Hide your shame, lemon. All right, let's give that a slice and a half. Wow, that's in need of some serious re-sharpening. Let's get some of the seeds out of there. If we can get a few out of them beforehand, it makes it easier to juice. There we go. Let's get the juicer out. Let's just push down on that lemon. I find that if you just push and squeeze rather than doing the full-on twist, you end up with less pulp. And I want less pulp, that's for sure. Okay. And I'll save this guy for later. Poor lemon. I mean, there's probably still some more juice in there, but we don't need all of it. I guess maybe I'll add it to some beer later or something? Who knows? We'll find out. Okay, where's my... Or wait a minute. 15 mils. Well, lemon juice I think is close enough. So let's see if we can get 15 mils out of that. 15, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12, 13, 15. Bingo, bango, and of course, bongo. I need to close that window so I can see you all at home. Okay, we have the lemon juice in there. Where's my saffron? Right here. This I've also had for a long time. I got a really good deal on it, and I don't do much saffron cooking, but it wants 1 pinch, 15 strands. Well, this is beginning to look a bit like... This is beginning to look like about all the saffron we've got left. I'm just going to suggest we just dump that all right in there. What do y'all think about that? Time for some new saffron. Of course, this... Gonna keep some things in there that might be useful. Okay. 15 strand sandworm. There's a band name for anyone who needs one. 4 green cardamom pods, crushed. Where do I keep my mortar and pestle? Here it is. Ooh, that's loud. Didn't like that. And just enough cardamom pods to make it worth our while. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, and reserve the 5th one. I'm sure I'll use these for chai or something later in future. Jaded Cynic, that's actually where I got my last set of saffron, and where I'll be getting more. All right. I'm going to call those sufficiently crushed. Ooh, and you can see the saffron starting to leak out of the threads there. Ooh, oh, that's a heavenly smell. I don't know about you, but I love the smell of cardamom. 2 whole cloves. I have to dig deep into the spice cabinet to find these friends, but we've got them. And we only need, how many? 2? 2 whole cloves. Well, there's 1 and 2. Cool. Grab 2 of them. I'm brilliant. Okay! Now you bring that to boil over medium-high heat, stirring occasionally with a rubber spatula. well, let's get it started, shall we? Medium high heat. Am I visible in anything there? Yes, I am. In the larger one. Okay, let's clear out this friend, because we're not going to need that cutting board for a while, or ever again today. Scale's going to become an issue. We'll want to keep that around. Semolina is definitely getting thick. All right, I just need to get that lemon juice off of my hands. Let's get out a spatula for stirring. Let's give that a quick once over. And take that up to medium-high heat. I hate these types of stoves, by the way. These glass cooktops that are just glass cooktop and not any form of induction, because they take forever to get going. They change temperatures extremely slowly. They're just regular elements underneath glass, and it's like, okay, well, let's just put a layer of extremely breakable substance on top of the things that are easy to replace, making it an impossible to replace component. Okay. No, I haven't moved a second time. This is just this is the kitchen in the new space. You haven't been here before. I'm also nearly apoplectic because I can't find my sloth astronaut poster. It should be hanging up here, or rather, just to your, I want to say your right, your left, just to your left. But yeah, it's not a home unless sloth astronaut is there, keeping watch over the goings on. What's our next step? We're doing the syrup. Small bowl, semolina and milk, 30 minutes. Line a rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper. Rimmed baking sheet. It's filthy. Why is it filthy? Because I don't care. It's mostly baked on stuff. I run these things through the dishwasher most times, and I don't worry what the pans look like because you always put parchment paper in them, or foil, depending on what you're doing. I used to feel it was wasteful, and then my time became valuable. And then I found out that things actually are better when you properly do them. I flip it over just because it makes it easier to keep in one place. Right, what's our next bit here? Let's mark off cardamon's pods crushed. They're in the mix, as are the whole cloves. Why is my computer now? It's now crashing. Okay, and no rose water because we don't have it, so we'll just mark that off. Semolina is added. Milk is added. Next up, in a small bowl, we did that. Line the thing. Whisk together milk powder, baking powder, cardamom, and salt. Sift the mixture. Okay, well, let's get out one of our big bowls. These ones here. All right. Let's give this another quick stir. Keep that moving. Keep it moving. So we need milk powder, baking powder, cardamom. Let's start with the milk powder. Let's move you over here for now. It seems like a good place. Why was the bottom of that bag wet? You'll never know, and I never want to find out. Scale returns to the land of fun and whatnot. Turn on scale. We need 150 grams of the non-fat dried milk powder. I may have purchased a bit too much of this. Okay. And let's go with Okay, so looking at about 25 grams per scoop. That's a good way to put that together. I haven't gotten to the point where I've go to Bulk Barn, which is a local chain of, oh, you can't see any of this, which is a local chain of bulk-based stores. I eyeballed that according to what I thought was volume, but as I said, we're going to go with weight because that's the correct method of... Okay, and then we can do that. Hey, hey, hey! What? What? Come on. Come on. There we go. Oh, I'm going to have to wipe so much stuff down, but it's a show. It's not my own cooking. I like to keep things really clean in my kitchen, personally. Please don't look at anything too closely. I like to keep things looking clean, if not necessarily actually clean. 1 teaspoon baking powder. Well, it's only available in teaspoons, so we'll have to break out the volumetric. A teaspoon's not a method of measurement I've ever considered. Baking powder, it's magic. It's also very powdery. Okay, let's get that out there. Give it a good scrape across the top. Boop. Okay. 1 teaspoon baking powder. Half teaspoon ground green cardamom. Now, everyone talks about the cardamom, but no one ever asks how Cardadad is doing. Half teaspoon. All right. And we're just about to a boil with this syrup here. Whoop. Cardamom. Oh, such good smell. And then 1/8 of a teaspoon of diamond kosher salt. If you're using tablespoon, use half as much by volume. Jesus, what do you want from me? Do this the old-fashioned way. Is that about 1/8 of a teaspoon? It looks like one to me. Let's give that a good old crush. Tiniest pinch. Okay, and mark these off. Teaspoon ground. Okay, and then we're getting into the wet team, and we don't want wet team just yet. So now, it's time for whisk. I need to employ the help of our good friend Adrian Whisk of the Whisk Foundation. Put me in pun jail. See, unlike Jacob, who remembers what he names things, I won't remember that in probably 5 minutes. Okay, whisked. Next up, we want to do the fun part. And we're going to sift it twice. Okay, I'm just going to, rather than do it on the sheet, I'm actually just going to do it in the second bowl because, come on, that just makes more sense, right? Second bowl. Done. Where is my good sifter? There it is. I have 2 sifters. This one looks ugly and is rusty. I use it for ramen. Or any other noodle I need to cook. This one is clean and fine meshed, and I use it for sifting bakables. Let's just send that through. I think we're going to do this twice, it said. Oh, but... Okay, and then we're going to reduce heat. So let's simmer that. And oh, hey! Send that salt through. Come on, salt. Why you got to do this to me? Come on. And then one more time. Whoa! That was almost a tremendous failure. Okay, and then sieve that back. And send salt in. Huh? Okay, that seems good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Yeah, it just seems like, why would you ask for kosher salt if you're going to just sift it out in the first place? Ridiculous. All right, next step. Keep this going at a low simmer. I'm going to introduce you all to the stove here in a second. Say hello to the stove. Oh, we're just going to keep that going while I look up the next step. How are we doing? 10 minutes remain on our semolina. So what we're looking for now is transfer the sifted mixture back to the large bowl and make a small well in the center. Return sheet of parchment paper to baking sheet and set aside. Add semolina milk mixture along with 1/4 cup of cream to the center of the well, and using clean hands, mix ingredients to form a sticky dough. Well, let us prepare our cream. Let's bring this back to the party. Let's move some of our implements aside. You know, let's give things a bit of a wipe down here, because it's a bit ugh. Kosher salt, 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. Now that seemed to be the right amount of salt. Yeah, and if you're using table salt, you want half as much of that. Like kosher salt really expands, so it's generally safe to use for that, I think. If 1/8 of a teaspoon of table salt, ooh, that would be terrible. The sifting also makes it nice and fluffy. Anyway, we need to make a little bowl in the center of this. So, you know what, let's bring you back over to the work surface here. Still trying things out, and I think we've kind of found a groove here. Put my salt cellar over here. Put this in the sink. Where did I put that baking dish? This is my first time cooking things for other people in this kitchen, so space management is an issue here, I'm finding. Okay, so we got that. Let's just bring that up here. We can take it off when it's time to form the dough. We don't need the well, but what we do need is one of our measuring cups and heavy cream. I am mostly lactose sensitive. Not mostly lactose sensitive. I am lactose sensitive, so I tend not to buy much dairy in terms of milk. Cheese, fine with cheese, but milk, no good. All right. We want to get a quarter. Cream. The cream ones are the worst because they tend to absorb the oil of the a lot better. So they don't... Oh, come on! Just give me my spout. I'm begging you. Alright, we'll just set that here while we wait for the semolina to finish its stuff out. What's my milk substitute of choice? Nothing. There is no substitute for milk in baking, and because I personally am able to deal with cooked milk products, I use them. Half laptop wide. Here we go. Hey, we're back. So yeah, we've got a couple more minutes here, 6 more minutes until the semolina is ready to make dough with. I think that's what's happening next here. Yep, semolina mixture along with. Then we're going to use clean hands to mix the ingredients to form stiff but sticky dough. If the mixture seems dry, add more cream, tablespoon at a time, until dough forms. When mixing, try not to aggressively knead the dough, as the gulab jamuns will become quite dense. Instead, press the ingredients gently together with your fingertips to form said dough. Alrighty then. In that case, I'm going to make sure that I have a second spatula for scraping the sides of that bowl, because I don't trust my fingers as much as one feels one should. Let's give our hands another quick wash here, because you can never wash your hands too many times. A rinse is probably what I'm thinking of, but... All right, let's back through the chat here and see what's happening. Oh, you can if you run out of water. Yeah, if you're running out of water, if you are running out of water, please prioritize the drinking of the water. It's best inside you. And then maybe just try to avoid the need for washing your hands. Okay, got that, got this. You know what? While we wait these final few minutes, why don't we take some time to crush a dough? And by a dough, I mean let's chop some pecans, because A, I'm going to need them for later, and B, I like pecans. In fact, I'm going to have a couple right now. You know what? I bet this would probably be better to do in the mortar and pestle. Let's give it a try. I've never chopped pecans before, so... Well, this is doing just nicely. Nice and thin. Eat another pecan while I'm at it. Why not? No one's looking. You're not looking, are you? Well, that's mostly snacks now. All right. Oh my God! Yes, you would have loved to have seen that, wouldn't you? This is why I need a second person. Let's just continue to crush those down. I'm sorry you couldn't see the initial one, but this is what they looked like initially. And now through the power of force, I have made them into this. And through the magic of obscuring things, I've hidden and now found the tag. Let's give these a bit more of a crush. that seems like the kind of topping you want for Gulab Jamun. Just enough to stick to the top as you pile these guys into your mouth repeatedly, over and over again. All right. Yeah, I was waffling as to whether or not I wanted to do pistachios or these cashews, and I'm glad I went with the cashews because I like immediacy. Let's check in with our simple syrup, shall we? It's got a great color going on. It smells, ooh, fantastic. But I do think this needs to, well, it said until liquid between finger and forefinger formed a small line, and I don't think we're quite there just yet. That is getting it. Getting good. Okay. Where's our... We have 43 seconds left on that semolina. I'm going to call that done because I put in that time a little bit early. So let's mix, friends. Okay. What do I need? I don't need this. Put that away. What are you all up to back there in chat? Everything's all good with you? Okay, okay, we're all good. We're all good. Let's make that well in the center. And we want to add the semolina milk mixture along with a 1/4 cup. Well, I mean, let's scrape this out. You know what I'm doing? I am wasting my time. So I've got this little friend here to help me get all the good stuff out. Let's give it a good... Get in the well. I'm not a big fan of these Betty Crocker branded things. They're not quite as rigid as I'd like. But let's add the heavy cream. Okay. Add that there. And I'm going to apply a cutting motion. I really like using these things as a mixer, but even when they tell you to use hands, we're getting somewhere. Scrape smudges down. Make sure not to lose any of that moisture. It's precious stuff. All right, I think we're just about there. This is any more than this, and I think we're going to risk getting into a situation. But boy, does this smell milky. Why am I surprised? I shouldn't be, because it's powdered milk, a little bit of flour, and a little bit of semolina, and then cream. I think I need to turn down the heat just a bit on the simple syrup, because it's starting to really boil up, but it's looking good. Okay. now at the point. So yeah. Try not to aggressively knead the dough as the gulab jamuns will become quite dense. Instead, press the ingredients together with your fingertips until they form dough. Well, I think we've got... This is dough. I think this is the dough we want. So, ooh, boy, that's sticky. 6 tablespoons heavy cream. Wait a minute. So I put a 1/4 cup in, which is... How many teaspoons in a cup?
48 teaspoons.
How many teaspoons in a 1/4 cup?
It's 12 teaspoons.
Okay. Did I put too much cream in there? Well, I guess we're going to find out. I guess we're just going to find out if this will work. I think it's fine. I think it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine, right? Right. And yeah, 6 tablespoons. So that's, yes. How many tablespoons in a 1/4 cup?
The answer is 4 tablespoons.
Oh, then we've got room for 2 more. Do we want to put 2 more in there? I don't know that we do. I think it's... This looks good to me. We don't want these to get any more done, so maybe let's just leave it at that. Let's just leave it. Let's leave it. Let's leave it. Okay. Where are we going here? What's up next? Simple syrup. Let's check in on that. Because pretty soon we're going to have to... we're going to have to give that a rest. Ooh, we're getting there. Getting close. But not quite yet. Almost. Gonna leave it. Okay. Yeah, Jaded Cynic, I think you got it exactly right there. We're gonna leave it as is, and then we're going to add more if necessary. But the answer is, it's not necessary yet. Not just yet. Okay. Well, I'm just stirring a pot. Any burning questions you've got, chat, at the moment? New to branch, yes. Tonight's libations for those who were not at the beginning of the show. Tonight we're having Beaulieu Vineyards of California's 2017 Merlot, which has become one of my favorite wines recently, and that's why I'm drinking it. It's one of the few wines I like enough to attempt to remember the name of for future. Oh God, this is going to be good mulling wine in the future. I'm debating making that simple syrup to try with rye. I have to know now. Annex Media. I mean, I could let you know. I don't know how good cardamom would go with rye, but it seems like it might be an interesting choice. What is the flavor profile like? That's a good question. I haven't actually done a proper full taste. So on the nose, it's very light. Slightly spicy with not getting much. Yeah, it's spicy and tanniny in the nose with a slight sweetness to it. Chocolate, apples, tea, little bit of gingerbread, I want to say, almost a Biscoff. It's a very sweet wine. And now it's tapering off into the tannins and a little bit of ash there, but in a good way, just on the back end. It's just extremely drinkable is the problem. Sadly, I did not hear about Ireland doing that, but that makes perfect sense for Subway, and perfect sense for Subway bread. Let's be honest. All right, how is it coming now? It's starting to look stickier. But still not quite there. This is going to take a while, it seems. A little longer than I expected it to. Okay, you know what? Oh, am I still in the booth cam? Yep, I'm still on the booth cam. Great. Burr, 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 burr. Let's do that again, just for y'all, because you're special. Okay, let that drip off a bit. We'll take a couple. Yeah, it's not stringing yet at all, but it is starting to feel a little tacky, and that's a good sign. I'm going to boost the heat on that just a bit. Yeah, this could be an interesting sauce wine. I'll have to look into that. Right now, I'm just enjoying drinking it. TBH. Done with the syrup test. What's that interesting wall hanging I've got there? Well, Mr. Q Bear. This is something that I picked up from. Let's just take it down. Why not? Well, there's a nail on my floor now. This is something I picked up at the Design Festa in Tokyo back in, I want to say, 2006, and that's very. There we go. Less glare from the light, but tomato soup. It is the biohouse cultivation that is brought up now of a sleep state. The first soup of the 30s plan, that evil force company. This tomato soup. Fear and despair surround you if you eat this tomato soup. Products that can be enjoyed safely of all age. From infants to the elderly, safe products that retain the natural flavor, nutritional value, and texture of ingredients so darkened. Dark nested. I love loving the word. No, you know what? You're not going to be able to see dark nested, so there. Take that. I truly, dearly, deeply miss being able to go to Design Festa. It's sort of like, the best way I can describe it is if you've gone to a Japanese animation convention and gone to the Artist Alley, imagine that, but filled with a lot more craft work instead of just prints. And the quality work is off the charts. Unbelievable. Just, it's like taking 3 or 4 anime conventions and boiling them down into the essence of artistic endeavor. And then because it's held at the Tokyo Big Sight and it's huge, just replicate that about 20 times. It's something our Tycoon 2, I would absolutely, and in fact did go, not broke, but boy, I didn't have much money for the rest of that month, let me tell you. It's actually where I got one of my initial leather bags that I based the one that I made on, if you go back to a previous episode of Tinker Tailor Soldier Fry. You know what? Now is a good time, I think, for us to take a short break, because when we come back, we'll begin the process of glubbing the jamun, rolling out the little balls of deliciousness, and then we will proceed to the frying portion of this evening's entertainment. So don't go away. More Tinker Tailor Fry More Tinker Tailor Solder Fry in just a few minutes. Don't go away. Welcome back to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, where we are in the midst of putting together a... let's try this again. Hey, welcome back to Tinker Tailor Solder Fry, where we are in the middle of putting together one of my favorite desserts, the Gulab Jamun, an Indian rolled milk-based kind of donut thing that's then soaked for at least 4 hours, or preferably overnight, to under a wonderful simple syrup mixture with cardamom, saffron, and cloves. Now, is this enough of a sauce for us to be able to take it off the hob yet? The answer is... Ow, that's very hot. You know what? I'm going to call this... texturally in the mouth. I think this is just about done, so we're just going to leave that be until we're done making the jamuns themselves, which we're about to do. So join me, won't you, here over in the creation corner. Aerate a bit of wine into my mouth. Giving my hands a good little wipe down. Let's get the camera in place and let's grab ourselves about what I'd consider to be a tablespoon. Maybe it's a bit much, but let's gently roll them. Well, what do you know? My hands smell like milk, and I think we've just made a Gulab Jamun. Or at least we've started the process of Gulab Jamuning. Let's continue to boil away, simmer away, I guess, is the appropriate term. Let's bring that in. Squeeze it down and just roll. Just roll. Don't even worry about it, Ian. Until it forms a full circular friend. Nice. Okay, we need 18 of these. So it's going to be a few minutes. Let's see, can I adjust the layout here in any way? Up there. Push that back there. There we go. Now we can see everything. The only thing I can't see is you, my good friends, over in the chat. JQL girl, we are gonna be using oil tonight. I was not able to, this afternoon, track down ghee, and I have no experience. While I have no experience with ghee, I do have a decent amount of experience now full oil frying, and I'm comfortable with oil frying. To an extent, I'm not with ghee. Also, when frying with ghee, be aware of the cost. It's clarified butter, so it ain't cheap, but it is delicious. And I think if this goes well, I will absolutely do another batch with ghee, at least for myself. Maybe not for what is ghee? Locks him in a box asks, well, ghee is clarified butter. Yeah. I keep forgetting what the clarification process does. I think it removes the proteins, and it's a cooking-ish process. This is why I should never be allowed to answer questions without being able to consult a source first. But these are coming together really well in better than I thought they would. Well, or at least different than I thought they would. I hope I'm not using too much force here. Yeah, Lord Hosk, you can definitely make ghee by melting and straining butter. The problem is that I live in Canada, where butter is expensive, and I can't afford enough butter to clarify on my own to be able to deep fry these little balls. But on top of that, that means that you need to be able to pay for the processing of the ghee, for regular butter to be turned into ghee. So you're kind of adding extra cost there. It's the worst. Okay, after I'm done rolling this one, I'm going to have another look at the sauce to see how it's coming along. I kind of want to move these over so that I've got a rows of 6. Because that just tweaks my the organizational side of my brain, because we're going to have 18 of these come the end. Ooh, this is going. This is really going. Let's get a bit of that sauce up there. Okay, cool it. Cooling by day, then at night, working up a sweat. Can you tell that Corey's been playing Fuser in my presence? Oh, that's getting close. That's getting very close. I can feel the stickiness. Yeah, the U.S. has dairy subsidy. Well, U.S. has dairy subsidies on the consumer side. Here in Canada, the subsidies go directly to the farmer, which means that well, that's good that the farmers get subsidies, let's be honest. It's the taxation and the keeping of foreign butters and adding tariffs to foreign dairy. It's good for the country, it's bad for me. And honestly, I mean, let's all be honest, if you're not caring for yourself first and taking care of your own well-being, you can't help other people. Such it is with cheese. Anyway. Oh! Bob Ninja Goldfish, thank you so much for that comment. I didn't... I can't keep my eyes on the chat from this side, and I need to find a way of being able to do that for future cooking adventures, but... Thank you. That really means a lot to me to be able to hear that people enjoy this program. And I won't say find it educational, because I certainly don't want to pretend that I'm being educational. But I do try to be informative, at least, entertaining, and at the very least inspirational. I want y'all to go out and try and do the things that you've never done before, but you can do, because let's try, right? Right. I wonder if I'm making these too big. No, it looks like I might be making them just a bit too big based on what I've got left here, but definitely not out of line completely. Okay, let's pick up some of this errant stuff here before we move on. Okay, oop. Whoop, 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 whoop. Become a ball. Thank you, Arclight, for putting out the story of margarine into the chat there. I've always found that to be particularly interesting. I find it really interesting the way the interaction of government and social mores and social tastes and how it all interacts on food to be to give us what our modern understanding is of North American food culture. Like the reason, yeah, I found it fascinating when I found out that the main reason that we don't eat any meat in North America, aside from cows, chickens, and pigs, is that the USDA didn't subsidize the inspection of the meat of any animals other than those three. And so it basically became a case of, well, no one's going to buy meat that's not inspected. And in fact, I think it's actually the case you can't buy meat, or you can't sell meat that's not inspected. And that, or at least no one would want to. And that means you just didn't get a lot of rabbit. You didn't get a lot of venison. You didn't get a lot of, the normal meats. And I, for one, find that a bit of a tragedy. Because it means that there's so much food out there that we're missing out on. You know, when I moved to Victoria, I suddenly had access to a lot more beer varieties than I had in Edmonton. And, I'm still, years later, buying more new beers, I think, or new varieties of beer, than I am repeats of them. And I think we should be able to do that with food, too. Explore so much and have access to so many different flavors and so many different combinations. Food eating is one of the things we have to do. I mean, it's one of the things we have to do as human beings. And to not take advantage of that need and turn that requirement into an adventure, into a pleasantness. I mean, not to say that that's everyone. There are some people who just are unable to enjoy food. But for those of us who are able to, I wish you good adventures in your culinary journeys through life. All right, let's get off the too philosophical train here, and we're coming up to the end of this bowl, and I think we're just about going to get. I don't think we're going to get the full 18 because I made a few largios, but this is going to be great. I also, I've seen in the past Gulab Jamun packets in stores. I've always wondered if it's what they consist of, and I guess the answer is right in front of me here. Milk powder and semolina and a lot of milk. Okay, so I think this is going to be our last one. This is probably going to be our densest too, thanks to how much I'm rolling this one to get it together. But oh boy. As long as it cooks through, that's all we need. All right. Oof, that's a rough one. Oh well, that seems like it'll be fine. Okay. Throw that in let's bring you back to main while I give myself a bit of a wash down here, if you don't mind. Whew. Throw everything into one big wet mess in the sink. And pour soap on it. Okay. Sean, Mr. Wick, good to see you back here. For those of you who don't know what Gulab Jamun is at this point, well, they are best described in my... Not best described. They're, I like to describe them as a Timbit or donut hole that's been soaked in rose water and honey for a long time. And they're absolutely delicious. One of my favorite desserts, as we have said many times. Okay, I think at this point, you better be done, syrup. You're starting to spatter a lot. Ooh, let's get you back in the half. There we go. Take the finger. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Ow. That's very hot. Just about there. You can see it just starting to form a little string. Oh, you know what? I'm going to call that done. Once this starts cooling, you get that fine string there. Yep, we're good. Okay, shut that sucker off. Move the laptop over here. Continue to lick the burning hot candy off my fingers. Okay. Now, let's, you know what, I'm going to give the stove just a quick wipe there because it's going to get hot in a second. And the last thing I want to do is make that sugar into caramel right on the stovetop. Whew. Okay. Okay, there we go. Where's my Dutch oven? Where is my Dutchie? Right down here. It's a KitchenAid. It's not at all special. It's been beat up, but it's cast iron. It's enameled. It's on the stove. That's where it needs to be. What does the actual recipe want us to do at this point? In a medium saucepan or Dutch oven, heat ghee or oil over medium-high heat until 325 Fahrenheit. And it wants 3 cups of oil. Do we really need something this big? Like this big, we could probably do it all at once. But Dutch ovens are really good for maintaining heat. So let's use it anyway. And you know what? This is my frying oil, by the way. I have fried, the last thing I fried in this was a batch of donut or cronuts. A few months ago, it's come with me on a move and it stayed in the fridge. So, let's just use it all. Because we can filter it and use it at least a third time. What a good sound. Actually, before I do that, let's move everyone over to the frying zone. Okay, welcome to the fry zone, where we will begin the frying procedures in just a moment. Additionally, we're going to want a plate with a paper towel. Okay, just catching up on chat here. So who wants to see him try canning tomatoes? Boy. I mean, why would I do that? Why would I can tomatoes when I can't produce San Marzano tomatoes and the region of San Marzano produces their own tomatoes for me to buy already canned? I also don't have space to grow tomatoes, so that's good. Yes, the Tilly house does in fact have a fire extinguisher. I do know where it is. If I do need it, most cameras are probably going to fall down, so it's not going to need. We're not going to need that. What we are going to need is our good friend, the deep fat frying thermometer, which I picked up at one of my local thrift shops because it's a good one. It's got mercury in it. Yeah. And it's got a clip on the back, so it can keep things in the right spot. You know what? Let's just use olive oil. You want a good deep base for your frying. Lots of thermal load is the word we're looking for here. Thermal load, of course, being what keeps the temperature from dropping too far when you add cold things to it, like these Gulab Jamun. You want it to be able to maintain its temperature while it's going. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw this onto high to get it going, and we're going to add our thermometer. Mommy! Thermometer. Press to adjust. So press in, push that up, push it down a bit, and let's click it in here. Okay. And that's going to tell us what the temperature is. And right now the temperature is currently below the level of the thermometer. So now we've got a decent weight. What we're going to do... I haven't bought myself a spider yet. There's a Chinese grocery supply shop in town that I want to purchase one from, but I have not yet had a chance to get out there during all the times. So I guess we'll just use... Ah, there they are. My tongue friends. These will help us get the things out. You know what I could do? Rather than wasting a plate, let's just take 4 squares of paper towel here from the select a square system, and we'll just lay them down. Yeah. And there we go. Now we have our resting area for our gulabs, or our jamuns. I really should learn which is the descriptor and which is the noun. Which is the adjective and which is the noun in Gulab Jamun? What do we got here? If you use them as a ventriloquist dummy, you can speak in tongues. I don't know if that's culturally appropriate. Boom. And thank you for posting the concept of the spider into the chat. It's a... dang, it's a useful piece of utensil. Curious about the flashpoint. Okay, the word gulab is derived from the Persian words gul, flour, and ab, water. Aha! Referring to the rose water inside. And jamun, or jaman, is the Hindi word for... Not gonna put that in my mouth and then make it come out. An Indian fruit with a similar size and shape, commonly known as a black plum. Interesting. I like it. I really like it. And of course you get to, again, insensitively sing the Gulab Jamun song. Jamun, I want to jam it in my mouth hole. Gulab Jamun, I hope you like jamun too. which I do. I very much do. Someone doing awesome things while violating every safety standard I've ever been hit up the side of the head for. Wow. So yeah, gulab's the syrup, jamun is the dough. Good to know. And I like, okay, here we go. We have now crested. I was going to say, oh no, it's not marked as to which one's Fahrenheit and which one is Celsius on the thermometer, but it's old. It has mercury in it, which means, of course, it's Fahrenheit. So we've got the thermal load of the oil. We've got the thermal load of the Dutch oven. So once we get it to temperature, then it's a matter of keeping it there and finding out what the level is. 325 is 163 Celsius for what it's worth. Good to know. Thank you, Corvus. But we are looking for a temperature of 325, which is going to be right there on the device. Can I adjust device such that you can see the levels on the... Yeah, I can. Great. Perfect. Or not. You know what? We'll just leave it as it was. As you were. Camera. Don't know if it's an artifact for the camera. It looks like the oil is slowly moving towards the thermometer. No! No caffeine. There is definitely some striation within the layers of the oil. Like it's because it's on a stove. It's heating from the bottom up, so you're actually getting temperature gradients and eddies and currents, and you're probably seeing those. It looks kind of like everything's covered in saran wrap here that's been pinched over the edges. We should probably give that a stir. Now that I think about it, what do we want to use to stir it, precious? Sorry, I'm just looking now at my syrup, and boy, is that nice and thick. Disposable or washable for oil? Well, you know what? Let's use this spoon. Because we want the temperature through the oil to be consistent for the frying. And of course, now that I've got the frying, you best believe I'm going to be making a batch of cronuts this weekend. Because otherwise the oil just likes to hang out and sit on the stove. Covered, of course. Because the last thing you want is your oil to get dusty or, God forbid, rancid. Not that covering it stops it from getting rancid, but that's why you keep it in the fridge. All right, well, the temperature continues to rise slowly but surely. Should I have done this on break? Probably. Will I do it on break in the future? Probably not. Are we going to take another break tonight? Well, we'll see how far we get, but it is getting somewhat toasty in the kitchen here, and I can definitely smell the oil heating. So it shan't be long now. This seems like a good time for us to refill our wine. Bob Ninja Goldfish, I would, if heat moved at a speed anywhere approaching the speed of light or even sound, that might be an issue, but in my experience, using a metal spoon just for this level of, this amount of time that it's spending in the oil is not a problem. Like the end of that spoon did not even feel warm. That said, your advice is good. It's if you're looking to be safe, that is the safest approach. we got here? Ooh, that's a good stretch. The hob isn't pumping anything like enough heat into the oil to be a problem with that. Yeah. Yeah, no, this is the worst stove. One day, Ian will have the excess funds and time to be able to coordinate the replacement of this hob with a induction unit of some sort. I've been thinking more and more about the North American, or quite frankly, the Western idea of what a kitchen is, and it's making me madder and madder the more I think about it and the more I see of them. Like, why are you wasting all of this space by making your kitchen this tremendously huge thing? This kitchen, I like it. This is small. It's efficient. This is all the kitchen I need because I'm not doing anything in the kitchen that's not a kitchen-related activity. I'm cooking here. I'm not eating here. I'm not doing my taxes here. This is a place for cooking. This is a place for work. Damn it, and I will work. $250. We're making our way up. Making our way uptown to a solid $325. It shan't be long now. Things do tend to accelerate when it comes to oil pretty quickly. Just heating my old chance, remembering the days when being a fry cook in those quiet moments in the morning. Ooh, yeah. Do you have any makers you like watching on YouTube? Bob Ninja Goldfish? Closest person I can suggest to a maker that I watch on YouTube on a regular basis is Technology Connections, though I do enjoy a good Laura Kampf-Kolm video. Laura Kampf does some really interesting stuff, and I've kind of wanted to replicate her workbench. Yeah, her workbench. But lack of space is the big issue here. This is still where I live. This is still an apartment, and it is. I can't make it completely into a shop yet. Let's see here. Being fair, like kitchen's a little bit bigger than that because my partner and I like cooking together, and it's annoying when you can't get past each other. That, the Angel's Wheat, is a valid complaint. Yes. Covering spices and herbs, clench Eastwood. Yeah. Storage is always an issue here too. There shall be no cutting station in Ian's galley. Shall the fresh oil roll by? Arclight, yeah, no, I can agree with that as a thing, but I don't. One of the other reasons I like this galley style and the enclosement of it is that it allows me to keep aerosolized oil and smells in a self-contained area, which is good for that. It mainly comes down to me looking at real estate for the past few months and being angry that so much space I feel was wasted in the kitchen when it could have been used in another area where I could do other forms of work, like a master bedroom. We are at 300, and we are rapidly approaching 325. I think once I hit 325, I'm going to throw this down to, let's say, 4 on the dial. This is a fun activity that I recommend to any of you who are interested in doing deep fat frying or doing more frying, because frying is really great as a cooking technique, because if you're doing it correctly, the oil does not get into the food. What happens is the oil cooks the food and steam is then released, which creates a natural bubble around what's being cooked to keep the oil from actually keeping in contact with it. If you're doing it correctly, which means you have the heat high enough and you're not overcooking or improperly cooking things. The last stove I had in the previous place, I knew where I had to set the stove in order to maintain a level. Oops, we are at 325. Oops, let's turn that down to 3 and see how it goes. Because we have shot right past, actually. Which means we might be at a good place. Temperature will drop once we add some of these jamons. But I just want to leave it there and really, no, you know what? Let's put it to 3. And let's start her up. What do we need? What's our time frame? Heat ghee until you're at 325. Line plate with paper towels. Immediately move the ball. Immediately move the ball once it's been added to prevent them from sticking to the bottom. Okay, cook for about 3 minutes until they are brown all over, and then use a slotted spoon, etc., etc. Okay, let's get to it. This is where Ian needs to start paying all the attention. Watch. Prepared and ready for the 3-minute timer. Let's begin. Jeez. Okay, we're already at 350. Let's begin the jamming. Immediately pushing them around. 3, 4, 5, 6. Push them around a bit and hit that timer. Oh, you can already see a little bit of brown in the bottom there. On that one, these are going to cook quick, my friends. They're already starting to float up. Hey! Which is a really good sign. That means I have appropriately created a crust. Okay. And we're steady at 350, so I'll just keep that on low for now. Keep an eye on your temperature. And because oil is so thermally dense, if you need to adjust, the reason you want to keep your eye on the temperature is because if it starts dropping, you need to start adding heat immediately to bring the heat up. Have a gas stove, get an electric hot place to heat the oil instead of the flame. It's not totally necessary, but it's safer. Yeah, Clench, that's not a bad idea. But I think we're good. Oh my goodness, these are... Yeah, we're already way over here. Let's try and get that. Oh my goodness, I'm just going to turn the heat right off at this point. Because it don't need no heat. These might be a bit overdone. But I might be okay with that. They don't smell burnt, and that's the important thing. How's that bottom side doing? Good. Time-wise, 1 minute left. The reason I'm not excited to take these out early is because I'm going to they need to heat all the way through. I don't want raw jamun in the middle of my Yeah, I don't want raw jamun. That's what I don't want. Don't want raw jamun in my gulab. Oh, but these are looking lovely. If not a little bit dark. How's our temperature doing? We are still sitting at 350. So these might just be some dark gulabs that we're getting here, friends. Which is fine. Which is fine. This is not taking nearly as long as I thought it was going to be honest. All right, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this batch, and then I'm going to suggest that we wait for the temperature to go down a bit. Oops. But yeah, super milky. Might be part of you using less than the recommended milk. I don't know. Because milk tends to get pretty brown when you get in the height. Okay, here we go. Time is up. Let's get these friends out of here. Very gently. Ooh. Try not to squeeze too hard. Extra long tongs. Make it possible to not heat up the thing. All right. And that's that. Easy peasy. Is there anything I wanted to fry while I've got this here? What do I got around here that's friable? I might be able to whip up a quick batter and then use some pickles. That'd be nice. I don't think I have anything friable, friends. Okay. Pancake batter donuts. So caffeine, that's like I'm like I said earlier, cronuts are my thing. Where you take a croissant recipe, even the packaged croissants, and you can just jam a hole in them and make and fry it up, and they're delicious. Okay, we are now exactly at 50 or 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Let's examine some of our roly-poly friends, though, shall we? Oh, look at that. That's... I mean, just let me bring it up there. You can really hear the crisp outer texture of that, which means that is probably delicious underneath. Boy, should I just throw these directly into the thing? You know, I'm just going to move that, move the syrup into a different container. Temperature, we are still solid at 350. Wow, that is not going anywhere, I think. So pull out some of the trusty Corningware, and let's pour that good stuff into there. Scrape down the sides, which are now highly textured with evaporated candy. Oh, so this is my favorite dessert, but it's probably not my favorite Indian sweet. That honor probably goes to jalebi, which is another rosewater and friends. Rosewater and friends. Yeah, Wizards, you can have that one for free if you want a Saturday morning show. Where was I going with that? It's kind of like a funnel cake, but filled with rosewater in a weird way, and crispy and red, like red strings that have been just deep fried into delicious town. It's it's something that I am not even close to feeling comfortable making myself yet. But hey, this was easy. This was so far too easy, and I'm scared. I'm scared as to how easy it is for me to enjoy these what used to be considered rare treats. If I could make them for myself, well, that's dangerous. Okay, let's just toss these friends because they appear to have fully drained. Let's get them in that mixture. Into the syrup. Duh! They float. Oh my god. They will probably not float forever because, like I said, the flavor of a Gulab Jamun is that of a donut that has been fully saturated with syrup. These ain't getting saturated with that kind of crust on top of them. Okay, we are now down to halfway, so we're halfway between 50 and 25. Do we want to try another batch? I think we do. I think we want to try another batch and not turn on the heat and see what happens. Let's do the 5 at the end here, so let's just drop 2, 3, 4, and 5, and let's just, again, push them around. Let's keep an eye on that temperature. That temperature has not moved. Oops, start the timer. Yeah, we may have just added enough energy to that pot to cook things without adding any more energy. I love deep frying, friends, and part of it, I think, might just be that it's It's such a wonderful physics lesson in and of itself that we're cooking without adding heat. It's all there. All the heat, all the energy we need to cook these, at least these 5 jamuns, is right here in the pot. It's amazing. And so one of the reasons I like to recommend getting comfortable with deep frying. Like, look at me. I don't own a deep fryer. I just own a Dutch oven with an ancient thermometer and a bus ton of oil. But one of the reasons I like to recommend it to people is that I don't know many people who don't like katsudon. And here's the thing, is once you are comfortable with deep frying a katsu is one of the easiest things you can do. You pound that pork, egg, flour, egg, panko into the oil, and you are in pork heaven, my friend. Do I want to take that one again? No, you pound that pork. You get that pork flat. You pound that pork till it's done. Speaking of which, 1 minute left on these jamuns. I guess my jamuns are just a little bit browner than the store-bought jamuns. Oh my god, this is a problem I have too. Is that the minute I'm able to cook something I love at home, I instantly feel guilty ordering it at a restaurant anytime I'm out. And I have a feeling that I'm about to experience that with Gulab Jamun. Okay, we are now at 325. I'm turning the hob onto low. And I'm never going to use the word stove again because I do love saying hob. Okay. So, we are still... Oh, okay, we've dropped below 325 precipitously, increasing power to the warp drive. Now, let's just...
Giving her all she's got.
Okay, these ones look slightly more golden. How is hot doing? Hot is doing... Ooh, hot is low. But you know what? I feel like hot might be low. Hot being low might be okay. So let's just throw in the next batch immediately. When you are deep frying, you want to, in placing things in the fryer, you want to get as close to the oil as possible. That minimizes splashing. And that way, you don't burn yourself. Or use a utensil to do it. It's up to you. The choice is yours. Oh wow, no, we are dangerously... We are dropping in heat. So I have turned us up to maximum in an effort to bring us back up, but I have also engaged the timer. I think we'll be fine. I think we'll be fine. Yeah, Jaded Cynic makes a good point. Lay them, do not drop them. I think the word that we're looking for in the middle here is release. Gently release the jamuns into the boiling oil. Look at the colors on these. Okay. We are halfway to 350 or 325. It's about 312 then, I'm guessing. These ones might go a little bit longer. They might also just be the perfect ones. All right. Jaded Cynic, yeah. When you're working in a commercial environment, life's a bit different than your own personal home. OSHA man has no power within these walls. I mean, unless loading ready run starts to get a lawyer of some sort, at which point they're going to start demanding things like safety certificates. And at that point, I'm out. But these are looking real good right here. Oh, yeah. GQ Girl. Yeah, no, I would love to get Jacob on the show at some point. And we actually have things planned, but it's one of those things that needs us to be both in the same place, so we'll have to wait on that for a while. But yeah, any time I can get friends of the show involved and on the show, it's always a good time. 15 seconds. I think I'm going to let these ones go for just a bit longer, and I'm going to eyeball it. As you can see the difference already. Like now that we're actually at 350, you can see a big difference. Like this is 350. This is the bubbling you want. 320 or 325 rather is where we're at. When we were down at 312, you weren't getting quite this level of bubbly reaction. And that bubbly reaction really is what keeps things from absorbing oil. I may have oiled up these jamons. That one looks like it's just about ready to go. So let's... You know what? I think these are solid jamons. Let's get them out. Let's turn that heat right off because these are no longer necessary. Okay, let's put them down. Now, the recipe requests that these gulab jamun marinate for at least 4 hours, preferably overnight. And I mean, I'd like to do that, but y'all need some, y'all are gonna need a takeaway from this. Y'all are gonna want to find out how these are. And I, too, am very curious as to how these taste. So we're going to accelerate things a bit here. Let's half. Okay. Let's get in there nice and close. Let's grab one. And let's see what we can do with it. Grab me a plate. Okay. Let's grab a fork. So let's go with one of the initial ones. I'm going to say I like this friend here. And what we're going to do is we're just going to push it. Whoop! Got the jam and the juice inside. Okay. That seems good. Now let's drain it a bit. Let's get that on the plate. Ah! My jamun. Okay. And let's get a knife so that we can see what's inside here. The crust is mighty. But this, friends, looks to me pretty much what I expect gulab jamuns to look like on the inside. Like I've had some that are, you know what, let's be honest, I have never actually looked at a gulab jamun before on the inside. I have just shoved them directly into my mouth. And I think that's what it's time to do here. What's this like? Let's find out. Unfortunately, Corey is not going to be tasting these because she's not a fan. But, ooh. This is milchig in a way that I don't know if I was prepared for. Okay, there is some definite time is going to be of the essence here. Number one, the rose water. Not necessary, but I think it would definitely add a pleasant to the a difference to this that might be nice. But texturally, this is basically exactly what I want a gulab jamun to be. And flavor-wise, that's where the difference is. This is no package. This is no restaurant gulab jamun. This is milchig. Very milky. More milky than I could have thought. JZ10 1011. Gulab jamun is, well, the recipe's there. Earth and One just posted it. It's kind of a fried milk dough ball in a simple syrup rose water combination with cardamom. They're good. They're real good. This recipe, I appreciate. It's a good recipe. It's a real good recipe. And I will absolutely be making these again for myself in the future. Friends, let's get these final jamuns into the mixture because these need to marinate over. Oh no. Oh no. I think I'm supposed to do this in a single layer because some of these are not coated. Oops. This might be a problem. But it's not your problem, it's my problem to deal with later, as one will. Maybe that the sauce hasn't permeated the milkiness stands out. Maybe. But it tastes right. It tastes like we're on the right track. And I absolutely need to get a bigger dish for these. Because if they don't... Oh, you know what? Let's just do that right now. To heck with waiting. Let's do it right while we're on the air. Hey, friends, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Tinker, Tailor, Solder, Fry. We do a lot of stuff here at Loading Ready Run. We do video games. We do Magic the Gathering content. We do this show, whatever it is. And you can find all the great shows over at youtube.com/loadingreadyrun. That's where we keep our premium content. Premium in the sense that it is not streamium content, because all our streams, my friends, live over at youtube.com/loadingreadylive. Hey, what's up, YouTube viewer? I see you. Happy you're here. If you want to find out what's happening on the streaming channels all the time, because we are always all the time streaming, we can't stop, you can find that schedule over at loadingreadyrun.com/live. And of course, if you'd like to support us, like so many of you have chosen to do so already, you can do that over at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun. That keeps the lights on and keeps us cycling our cycles. But also, you can go over to twitch.tv/loadingreadyrun. Give us bits and give us your subs, and we appreciate each and every one of you who does that, because we love you. And we love doing this, and we like being able to continue to do this, and so when you help us do this, it makes us happy. Let me bring up the notifications, which live at a website which I have not opened, because I would like to thank a number of our generous patrons, and, well, not patrons, specifically the people who have been here to give their subs and bits. Let's see here. Let's start with the Stardust. Thank you so much for being a member. Cheers to you, and thanks for being a continued subscriber. Harvest25 subscribed for 11 months. Thank you so much for your continued support. Gizmo Freak has subscribed for 17 months. Hey, 17 months, aka March 2020. What's that? Right, okay, jeez. It's been a year, friends. Don't do me like that. Time to fry. A appropriate username. You've been subscribed for 24 months. That's almost a year. It's almost 2 years. So close. I'm a bear has subscribed for 9 months. Congratulations on your sub, baby. Yay. You played that card. I'm guessing that I'm in the middle of some magic subs here at this point. What do we got here? Silly Canadians with the wrong Thanksgiving. Cheers, MTG boys. Definitely. Well, you don't get a double. Assembled bird. Watch the game. Okay, you know what? Let's continue. Regulus Patrius, 49 months. Have assembled the bird. Time to watch the game. Renzer Voodoo, 19 months. Orange for Adam. Well, yeah, that's probably that again there. Ghost Lex subscribing for 3 months. Thank you for that. And W. Livy subscribed for 83 months. Thank you for your continued support. Also want to thank Richards, who subscribed for 86 months. And I know this is a sub for this particular program because it's an Ian and a food. What a great pairing. Yes, I do enjoy a good food. P. Blackcoat subscribed for 40 months. Thank you for your continued support. No, this is also one of my favorite desserts. Well, I hope you, I hope you get the seal of approval from. Well, you do get the seal of approval from Ian. This is a good recipe. Give it a try. Get used to deep fat frying. It's worth your time. John Dare, 80 months. Woo, round 80 months. Thank you, John Dare. Feistier Ermine subscribing for 48 months. Thank you for your 2 years of support. That's not 2 years, that's 4. It's a lot of months. That's a lot of months. Thank you. Caffeine 1138, one of my favorite George Lucas films. Subscribing for 13 months. Tinker Tailor and some graduate homework. What a way to roll into a 13-month of subbing. Indeed. Caffeine, that was the one. Nolly3, subscribing for 39 months. Oh boy, just in time for food. Feed me, Seymour. Well, I mean, I hope I did. We'll get into the steamed hams another episode. Right now look, it's Aurora Borealis back there. Prince Phantom, brand new subscriber. Thanks to an anonymous gifter. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for joining us. Cyber Ferret 2. Subscribing for that 25th month. That's a quarter of a century of months. Thank you. Quarter centurion. Gruff the Crime Dog, subscribing for 3 months. Thank you so much, Gruff. Edgy Berserker coming in at 51 months. Thank you for your continued support. Edgy Berserker, where did that... Jesus, where's my cursor? That was so cool. Acro Monk, subscribing for 50 months in a row. Thank you. Big numbers. Ivan21 for 11 months. Heyo. And to you. And also with you. Aquinas0, dropping 100 bits on us, saying the bleeding was a bizarre artifact. Thank God Ian's head is intact. Yeah, no, sorry, I hit my head on a lock when I was downstairs in my storage room. I recommend not doing that. Vlaniok, subscribing for 35 months. Thank you, Vlaniok, for those months of support. I realized that I'm hitting the spacebar with my body when I put the keyboard into my body, and that's what's causing this scroll to happen. So I'm just going to scroll up and up and up and up and up until we get to Narset6691, subscribing for 32 months. Thank you for that multiple of 2 months. Cheers. Clench Eastwood, subscribed for 70 months, and Lure is still the best community on Twitch. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate being part of the best community on Twitch, but that's you. All you did this and made this the best community. GR Griffin 3, subscribed for 87 months. Thank you, GR Griffin. Cyberferret 2, subscribing for 25 months. Thank you so much for that. Where am I? Did I get completely mixed around? I did. Mark Barks, subscribing for 35 months. Thank you for your continued support. Mark Barks. Perfect. Some turkey Tailor based and fry. GR Griffin 3, subscribing for 87 months. JZ1011, subscribing for 43 months. Thank you both for your continued support. RR Tycoon 2, dropping the bits. You know how it works around here. Earthen 1 with 51 bits as well. Oh, right, bits. Secret Branch, subscribing for 30 months. Wow, months. Those are a period of time. Yeah, too many of them. Wait, what just happened? I heard something drop, and that always makes me very nervous in the kitchen. A Star Lord named Sue is a brand new subscriber. Welcome, a Star Lord named Sue. Hope you're enjoying the channel. And MB Pro 216 subscribed for 21 months, saying woo. And I say woo to you and woo to all of you at home. Thank you so much for joining us this week on Tinker Tailor Solder Fry. I've been actually a little bit hesitant to do a kitchen stream because I've never done one here, but now that I have, I think we've got a good setup. So be prepared for a few more cookings in the future. Coming on into the wire, thank you to ZimmerCJ23 for that 46-month subscription. Thanks so much. We will see y'all in a Fortnite chat. It's been a slice, but we are out for tonight, which means we say the same thing we say every time. Ever forward, never learning. See you again.